Do you ever disagree with your colleagues about how to fix a difficult problem? I often see teams going round and round in circles, arguing about how to address some important, difficult issue. Eventually, they'll reach a weak compromise, but not the best solution. The problem isn't which of their different solutions is best, it's that they don't have a shared understanding of the problem. And by the end of this 5-minute seminar, you'll understand why that is and how you can address complex problems. I've been working with a large life sciences company which is worried about their R&D productivity. They had plenty of technical explanations, but they couldn't agree on one. So they brought in an academic geek, that would be me, and I introduced them to the idea of problems that weren't just complicated but complex, and the possibility that technical explanations alone weren't enough. As scientists, their thinking was reductionist. Factor A causes outcome B. But they found that didn't explain why some of their low-risk projects failed and some of their high-risk projects succeeded. So to shake up their thinking a little bit, I quoted a Nobel laureate, P.W. Anderson, who famously said, "The ability to reduce everything to simple, fundamental laws does not imply the ability to start from those laws and reconstruct the universe." This challenging quote gave them a new perspective on their recent history. To improve their innovation, they had moved from internal innovation systems to a constellation of external partners. And they had assumed that this constellation of firms would behave like many small versions of their old internal innovation system. But it didn't, because, as Anderson famously said, more is different. That's the axiom of complexity science. Complex systems have emergent properties that aren't just the sum of their parts, and that's how they changed the way they looked at the problem. So we discussed their issues from the point of view of complexity science. We looked at the many complex interactions between academics, biotechs and their R&D team that shaped their R&D productivity. This way of looking at things helped them develop a shared view. They now understood that all of their innovation ecosystem wasn't just a collection of projects, it was a complex system with its own internal dynamics. And understanding those dynamics was key to improve the innovation productivity. So here's the lesson. Complex systems don't behave like many small, simple systems. They have emergent properties. R&D productivity is one example of an emergent property, but so too are things like market relationships, product adoption, and commercial capabilities. Simple A causes B thinking is tempting, but it's often wrong. As Mencken famously said, for every complex problem, there is a solution that is clear, simple, and usually wrong. So don't be simplistic with complex problems. If your team can't agree on the causes and solutions to a complex problem, then let's talk about it. As well as being an academic and an author, I help pharma and medtech strategists evolve their strategic capabilities. I do this using insight from my research into the Darwinian evolution of our industry and 4 decades of practical experience as a scientist and strategist. If our industry matters to you, subscribe, share and explore my work. My website has a free library of over 400 articles and papers. My YouTube channel has over 100 videos. Best of all, let's have a cup of tea and chat about how my research can help you.